Hi guys, this is App Unwrapper. I'm back with Of Two Minds on iOS and I'm going to pick up where I left off. Let's see what we can find.
I'm sorry.
Thanks.
You would have been afraid to yell at me like that when you were my patient. I like this center better.
I have a new analyst.
Well, in that case, are you free for dinner?
Can you cook?
Oh no.
The other day, when Mel and I were driving out to our summer house, we were on that awful stretch of road where there are so many accidents. He actually took one hand off the wheel and put it on my knee. And then he said, "Aren't we lucky we have so much more than most couples ever have? I'm so glad I married you." There was a time when his hand would have felt good, reassuring, sexy. But this time I smiled and nodded, and all I could think of was how to get his hand off my knee. I never thought this would happen. I thought I would get wrecked or the affair would get wrecked, but not me and Mel.
Everywhere you look, you see wrecks. Why not go home and see how your marriage looks without the wrecks?
Let me ask you a question. Why do you run?
Leonard says it's a sublimation of my penis envy. It allows me to phallicize my entire body. When I run, I become a giant penis. Erect, strong, mobile, thrusting. It's wonderful. I get wet all over from water and sweat. And in this marathon tee, I push forward over and over and over, and at the finish line I'll collapse. In your terms, it makes me feel whole and complete and perfect.
How come she's running at the same pace he's walking? Oh, come on.
Perfect.
I've never kissed anyone for 43 and a half minutes before. I'm free tomorrow between 7 and 7:43.
What have I done to deserve you? It's all right if you're not ready to talk about it. I'll be here for another 32 minutes. Takes time to plan a vacation, Rex. Why didn't you tell me? What would it have cost you?
I knew you'd be unhappy.
You were unconscious for about 6 hours, and then you slept for 18 hours in a more normal sleep. You must have been tired, no?
Very tired.
So, what day would it be today?
Friday.
Excellent. Where were you when you lost consciousness?
In the lobby of the Red Flag Hotel.
Very good. And what was the date of the storming of the Winter Palace?
I don't know. I've never known. They don't teach you that in America.
I am sorry, but this is a standard form used everywhere in the Soviet Union.
But it doesn't make any sense.
Don't you have government regulations in American mental hospitals that don't make any sense? There is someone here to see you. Perhaps he can tell you the date of the storming of the Winter Palace.
Can I afford a divorce? Let's see. 7 patient hours at $125 an hour, 9 at 100, 8 at 75, 12 at 60, averages out to $85.97 per hour, times 36 hours per week, times 48 weeks is $148,556.16 a year, which is $54,965.78 after taxes.
What? That doesn't make sense. Oh, I got a case study.
Rex has been spending his vacation recovering his closeness to Carlotta. His basis for this is Abram's interpretation, which has two parts: that Carlotta represents Rex's mother after the nervous breakdown, and that Annie will not go crazy. Annie does not, in fact, go crazy. When she wakes up in the mental hospital, the first thing she says is that she is sane for the first time in her life. But when Rex finds out where she is, his sense of his own gigantic powers overwhelms him, and his sadism goes completely out of control.
Knowledge that I'm going to spend the rest of my life taking care of you is the worst news in the world.
There. Just ruins.
I thought you said this was something you could do right.
What's the matter?
You fake your orgasm. That, as the Buddhists say, is not to do.
I'm sorry, but you're not Rex.
$2 for me? All right, I'm bumping another 50. For me, 50 cents. You got it.
Just to make it extra for you.
$1.50 just because she walks in.
Come on, Hal.
Another 15. Last game of the night.
Hey, all right.
Ooh, looks like you're a winner.
Give it away.
It's up to you.
Make it an extra dollar.
I couldn't give you away either.
Okay. Make it $1.50.
You raised by 70.
Drinking bitter rage.
Then forgive me.
What exactly are you sorry for?
I'm sorry I made you get angry and slam your way out of my room.
Leaving you like that is what I did. That's what I'm sorry for.
Then I'm sorry I accused you of not being Rex.
I am not Rex.
Peter, it's late. I'm tired. I'm lonely. I'm scared, and I'm sorry. What do you want me to say?
Anything but good night.
What's the matter? Have I done something? I'm sorry. Rex, is it me? Good. Is it us?
Aren't you worried?
About what?
Flying all the way to Russia, running the Moscow Marathon, leading the tour group, keeping track of all our baggage.
No. But I am anxious about nuclear war, the hole in the ozone layer, destruction of the rainforest, endangered species, political prisoners.
I'm sorry.
What for?
I don't know. I suddenly felt responsible for all that.
In that case, I'm worried about my sex life.
I think I'm gonna get some more cookies. Can I get you anything?
Peace in our time.
Oh no.
Oh.
Couldn't be happier. Yes, I could. Look. Just like old times.
You long for that, don't you?
Interpretation.
Sorry.
Come on, pay up.
That's a good rule.
one in silver and one in gold. I feel loved enough now.
Hi. Oh.
Some of those and some of those.
Shrimp? Or crab?
Maybe it'll be a wonderful trip after all. I mean, if Annie isn't going to have a nervous breakdown, and my wife isn't my mother, that's a start.
Oh, God.
There is.
Yeah, there is, isn't there?
But it wouldn't be right.
That's too bad.
Could you love me?
Not in the way that you want.
Oh, come on.
Annie Rose. She's in the People's Psychiatric Hospital in Moscow. She's had a nervous breakdown.
You have some talent. When I married you, I honestly thought you'd amount to something. Suddenly, the knowledge that I'm going to spend the rest of my life taking care of you is the worst news in the world.
You're not afraid of them?
I spent my whole life being afraid. And you know what? I wrecked my whole life. I thought I'd try not being afraid for a while. I've nothing to keep.
The crotch is still warm.
I'm so glad it's you.
Do you want to do it again?
We have to stop now.
What?
Maybe it'll be a wonderful trip after all. I mean, if Annie isn't going to have a nervous breakdown, and my wife isn't my mother, that's a start.
What's that? Who's there? Sandra? Anyone? I'm so glad it's a you. I've been wandering around in this fog for hours. You don't happen to know the way back to the lodge, do you? This is all Annie's fault. I'm a sensible man. I wear sensible shoes. If she hadn't come here last August and then told me how charming it was, I wouldn't be here now. I thought it'd be a nice, isolated place for a honeymoon.
Oh, come on. This is getting a little ridiculous.
I'll never leave my wife.
I don't want your wife.
No one must ever know.
Man after my own heart.
$5? Okay, it's free to me.
Same thing.
Oh.
Annie and Mel have a relationship that's fond, but on a deeper level is based on the ways in which they agree to keep secrets from each other. In Mel, Annie made what psychoanalysts call an anti-Oedipal choice. That is, a man who, unlike her father, does not dominate her and will never hurt her. She was not aware when she married him that unconsciously he was more like her mother, a negative Oedipal choice, willfully refusing to see the bad news in front of his eyes. When Annie and Mel play a game from her childhood, quoting Alice in Wonderland, Mel plays the part of Annie's mother. When Annie and Mel toast each other with wine, they touch hands instead of glasses, so Annie doesn't have to hear the clink of glass, which would disturb her. Mel represents a fantasy of being taken care of by her mother. But while Annie kept her father's violence out of her marriage, she has repeated another big part of the trauma, the keeping of secrets. Annie has kept the secret of her affair with Rex from Mel, and he has helped her do it. When he sees the bruise, he says, "Please take better care of yourself," not "What happened?" When Annie says, "There's something I have to tell you," and then, "I've changed my mind," Mel replies, "I love your mind," merging a compliment to her intellect with a compliment to her keeping of secrets. Mel has a gigantic secret of his own, of course. Annie knows something about his gambling because Mel is constantly tossing a coin for heads or tails, and they have a game in which every time Mel drops a quarter he is tossing, it has to go into a big jar in the kitchen. And he is able to say, "I lost a big one today," but Annie doesn't ask him what he means and how big the loss was. Now they have reached the point where neither one wants to keep the secret anymore. Rather than tell each other what happened and face the issue together, they will part amicably. They are friends, but were never close.
What's happened?
Well, you know how life is, Annie. Just when you think you're winning, there's a sudden reversal.
I know about life, Mel.
There's no good way to say this. Leonard's wife called today.
I didn't know he had a wife.
Well, he doesn't. He did. He was on his honeymoon. He's dead. They were staying at that lodge you stayed in last year on Dartmoor, and he sank into Great Grimpen Mire. They just found him. It's funny, I didn't know it was dangerous there.
Oh, Leonard.
I know just how he feels. Felt. How he would feel. I mean, just when everything was going so well.
I'm leaving you.
You won't get a cent.
Why isn't it working?
I brought you a present.
You're the present.
Psychoanalysis takes a special interest in childhood. Before Freud, people assumed that since we forget most of our childhoods, those events have no impact on our adult lives. We now know that events we don't remember can exert an influence on how we see the world. We even sometimes misinterpret events in the present in the light of past experiences we no longer remember. Psychoanalysts call those unremembered experiences that are still alive within us, which may be events or feelings, repressed, as if we have tried to forget them and didn't quite succeed. Sometimes, if we can recover repressed memories or recover the repressed feelings attached to events which we remember but without the feelings they evoked, we can face their impact on us at the time they happened and begin to let them go. Annie is a psychoanalyst, and she is in psychoanalysis with Leonard, so she has an active interest in trying to bring repressed memories to consciousness. Annie remembers her father's abuse very slowly. First, she remembers her father making her wash dishes, which he then breaks and makes her wash again, all night long. Then she remembers telling him she is bleeding on her chin. The event occurred. Annie has a scar on her chin, but symbolically, in Annie's unconscious, bleeding may be an example of what Freud called displacement upward to her head, when it is a deeply coded reference to another bleeding, when her father took Annie's virginity, something she will not remember until she is in the souvenir shop in Russia. Leonard was unable to interpret the meaning of the screen memory of washing dishes that were already broken, trying to restore them to unused form after it's too late. When Annie does remember her father's assault, it comes in coded form. She is attacked by a bear. Psychoanalysts speak of repressed memories trying to get to the surface. She tells Rex a children's story about the three bears as a way of trying to rescue him from his impotence, and they discuss the Oedipus complex, but Annie is not yet ready to think about herself as a sexual object for her father, or to think of herself as having been attracted to him. Annie brings Rex a bear rug for them to make love on, but it is a childish sort of teddy bear rug. Bears are everywhere in Russia as a symbol for the motherland, and Annie's decision to run in Russia may be part of her struggle to bring her memory to consciousness. Like many another enabler of an abusive father, Annie's mother refuses to see what is going on and protect her daughter. When Annie finally remembers being raped by her father, she remembers her mother as being unable to hear her screams because she is washing dishes. Once Annie remembers the assault and her mother's role in it, she breaks every piece of glass in the souvenir store, glorying in the sound instead of fearing it. She repudiates a lifetime of saying, "I'm sorry." And then, when feeling like her father, what psychoanalysts call her identification with the aggressor, is too painful for her, she runs out of the store with some idea of throwing herself through the plate glass window in the hotel. She will live, however, and will have to deal with the life she has built for herself as her childhood starts to lose its grip on her.
Jesus.
Now, Annie, you know if you throw yourself through a plate glass window, it will make a horrible crash, and you'll be killed. A horrible crash, and you'll be killed.
You're whole, complete, and perfect.
And the pain is gone.
Tvoj brat. Idite sa mной.
Ah.
I don't want to be your son.
You're critical and withdrawn and very old. But people say you're a great analyst. Maybe the best. I don't think of you as a great analyst because I know you too well. You're certainly a very famous analyst. I like the fact everyone thinks I have the best analyst in New York. Someday I'd like to be the best analyst in New York. Do you think that's possible?
Twice today you ask for my blessing.
That's true. I wonder why.
In the dream you tell me you are wrapped in a magic blanket and nothing can happen to you. Nothing is nothing. Nothing bad, but also nothing good. You're telling me that in this analysis you come back day after day to your blanket and nothing happens to you.
So I want to stay here with you and be safe.
Okay, let's see. How are we doing? I found 4 case studies so far. Not missing that many.
Just say, I'm whole and complete and perfect, and the pain is gone.
Do I have to?
Do it for me.
I'm whole and complete and perfect, and the pain is gone.
Again?
I'm whole and complete and perfect, and the pain is gone.
That's it. Now don't stop breathing.
I'm whole and complete and perfect, and the pain is gone.
Okay, now that's it. Now keep repeating.
I'm whole and complete, and Peter, I am 40, childless, all alone, and the pain is unendurable.
Let me ask.
While I am reasonably sure that Peter hooks up with a different girl in every marathon group that he leads, he managed something deeper with Annie, and their rescue of my uncle, which led to my father's survival, enabled them to experience doing something of lasting value, even if as lovers they are ships that pass in the night. Although their night of lovemaking ends in discord, with Annie saying, "Thank you, Peter, I can't wait to get home to Rex now," Annie's encounter with Peter is the beginning of her unlinking herself from Rex and ending the pattern of fear and submission to sadism that has limited the quality of her adult life. Peter doesn't know that when Annie asks him, "Could you love me?" and he replies, "Not in the way that you want," he, by wanting to keep his life simple and free from emotional drama, has refused to play a part in Annie's drama of flirting with and repressing her memories of her father. Annie is interested in Peter as a man who does actual good in the world, and she is ready to set herself on the path to dealing with her problems herself. From then on, Annie, imagining that her dressing gown is the one she wore as a little girl, is working to bring her most dominating repressed memory into consciousness. It is my hope that Peter, despite his resentment of Rex, and Annie, despite the fact that in some ways she is too busy with her inner life to really notice him, can own the good thing they did together.
The waiting's over. Your father's coming home.
We did something right tonight. Peace, love, Peter.
Ah.
I would have liked to have done something right today.
Would you? So would I. Time to look at the moon. It's full tonight.
Oh, come on.
What do you want?
You looked familiar.
Get lost.
Okay, what am I supposed to do at this point?
What's that? Who's there? Sandra? Anyone? I'm so glad it's you. I've been wandering around in this fog for hours. You don't happen to know the way back to the lodge, do you? This is all Annie's fault. I'm a sensible man. I wear sensible shoes. She hadn't come here last August and then told me how charming it was, I wouldn't be here now. I thought it'd be a nice, isolated place for a honeymoon.
I love you. I hate that I do. But I do. And I hate you too.
I thought you loved me and hated your wife.
That too.
Like your arm where I bruised you.
Rex and Annie both married people who represent safe choices for them. Unlike Annie's father, Mel will never lose his temper and strike Annie. But as a companion, he is somewhat unexciting because the most exciting part of his life, his gambling, is his private secret domain. Carlotta, unlike Rex's mother, is very even in her affect, even in crisis. She will never have a nervous breakdown. When Annie and Rex start to talk together, there is instant chemistry. Not only are they attracted to each other, they can banter, making sly uses of their shared psychoanalytic frame of reference. This connection is exciting in a way their marriages are not. That's what they are consciously aware of. They are not, however, aware of the unconscious component, although they try. Because they are psychoanalysts, Andy and Rex try to uncover and deal with the unconscious components of their relationship. It's your mother you hate. That too. There is much good in that exchange. They are accepting of the dark corners of the human mind and can talk about the possibility of hate in the midst of love and the way people can feel more than one thing at a time. That too. But it's also a little glib. It's a simplistic psychoanalytic sounding idea. They know the jargon, but because their affair is driven by unconscious forces that they are completely unaware of, they are unable to think deeply about the specifics of their relationship, what they're not saying or thinking. In Rex, Annie has found a sadist who, unlike her father, is polished, educated, and above all wishes he were not a sadist. I hate how much that means to me. I love you for how much you hate how much that means to you. Neither her marriage nor her analysis has freed her from the sadism that her father brought into her life. But she imagines that it is okay to be with a sadist if he is sorry that he is a sadist. Unlike Mel, Rex is willing to make Annie's unconscious fantasies of being hurt part of their play. And in Rex, she has found someone who is as eager as her father to keep his sexual relationship with her secret. No one will ever know, and no one will get hurt, but us. Rex, for his part, has found someone who can tolerate his sadism and still love him. He feels accepted in a way he never imagined possible. Their last encounter before their summer vacations contains hints of their secret agendas, secret even from themselves. In the upcoming scene, Annie, despite being deeply in love, thinks she can work on their relationship when she's not with him, and Rex is still under the shadow of the day his mother went out of her mind.
The whole month we're apart, I'll be working on our relationship. Promise me you'll work on it too?
You'll never be out of my mind.
Oh, God. All right, so I'm going to have to look for more. Still 7 case studies to complete.
don't want to know what I'm thinking.
You mean you don't want to tell me what you're thinking?
I mean, if I tell you what I'm thinking, I think you'll think all kinds of things.
You better tell me what you're thinking.
Oh my God.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Oh, no. No. No.
As Freud once said, one no would have been enough.
One no is never enough.
Come on.
The couch is still warm. Who's been sleeping in my bed?
Okay. Why can't I go back?
Actually, you look familiar too. Leonard?
Yes. Sandra Gordon? You look wonderful.
No thanks to you. After my analysis with you, I went through the worst 4 years of my life.
It's a long time.
Okay, I'm gonna take a break here. That is Of Two Minds. Check it out. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks. Bye-bye.